Hello everyone. In today's video we're going to be going over a first time setup for Foundry VTT. This video is intended primarily for the individual who has just purchased the software and is looking to get started. So the first thing I recommend doing is going to Game Systems and installing the rule system appropriate for your group. As you can see, there are a number of options available. However, I already have D&D 5e, which is what my group uses. After you've installed a game system, the next thing you probably want to do is go over to configuration and change your admin password. You can also at this time add on modules, but I highly suggest getting familiar with the core software before adding anything else extra. I also suggest before you get started creating a world that you update everything. So as you can see, you can update the software, which I haven't updated mine yet because I still need to back up my files. It's a good habit to get in backing up before you update, just in case something goes wrong. You can update your modules with one click. As you can see here, right here, it says update all. And you can also update your game system. Alright, once you've updated everything, it is then time to create a world. Go ahead and click here to create. Give your world a name. I'll just name it test world for now. Decide where it is going to be stored, the data path. Select a system. And if you want to include a background image at the start, you can, or you can include one later. This will just be where the loading page for your players, this is what they'll see. And then you can schedule it as well as include a description. All this can be done later though as well. And create, and you can go ahead and start it up. So after you have started up your world, you'll see it will go to the landing page. This is again where the background image would show. There will only be one player at the start, the game master. We'll be adding those in very shortly. Let's go ahead and open up this world. Alright, once you're in, you can see it's pretty empty and there's just a message game paused. The first thing I want to do, in order to unpause the game, I can press spacebar and I'll close these windows here. Next, after that, because it is a game and because I'll need to add in other players, let's go ahead and add in my other players first. So go to settings, configure players. Okay, when you get here, you see there's already one player, the game master. If you want to change the name, you can, as well as create a password. But right now I'm just going to create additional users, additional players. Say I'm playing with Tim, Eric, and Joe. And I can also configure the permissions for all of these players and decide what level they are. But right now, I'm just going to go back. So now I've created players, but it's still pretty empty here. So the next thing I want to do is I want to create a scene. So I go over to the top here, create scene, name a scene. I will name it Tavern. And then looking at this, there is a lot here, but it's pretty simple. The first part is just the name. Next is who this scene is accessible to, whether it's just the GM as well as the other players. The name, if it's different, on the navigation tab, which the navigation tab is at the top left there, where you see the name of the current scene, Tavern. And then the background image, which I want to select a background image for the scene right here. After that, going down, most of the other things you probably don't need to use at first. If you want to change the background color, I'll change it to just a black. If you wanted to change the lighting, so for example, if this is a battle map, you probably want to use token vision, and you don't likely want to use global illumination unless they're outside. But if it's a Theater of the Mind map, then yeah, you can untick token vision and tick global illumination so that it's accessible to all the players. They don't need to have a token on the map. Going down further, there are options to link journal entries to scenes. There are options to link audio playlists to scenes as well as weather effects. I think the audio playlist is particularly cool because then when you open a scene up, it'll automatically start to play the music. But for now, this is everything I need, and I will just click Save Changes. You can also make a folder very easily by clicking Create Folder, naming, and then dragging the scene onto the folder. Okay, after you have a scene, you want to go ahead and view it. You can view either by right-clicking here and view scene, or clicking if it is available in the navigation at the top. However, this is just viewing only as the GM. In order to pull the players, you will need to right-click and click Activate. And that will pull all the players onto the scene. And if they have a token, it will become visible to them. Or if you have deselected token vision, it will become visible to them. At any point, if you finish using a scene, just activate a different one, and then you can toggle navigation. The last thing we're going to be going over today is how to create a new actor and how to set that actor to represent a player. So I want to go over to the Actors tab, Create, and let's name it. I will name it Lucas Caswell. And notice how I had it set to a character. And the character sheet looks very similar to ones you've probably seen before. You can edit this in the same way, editing the attributes, the inventory features, spellbook biography. You can do all of it manually. I can also change the image, as well as I can change the default sheet and the token. If I wanted to change the token to be a different token, I can change it right here. As well as I can change other features here, as well as how far the character can see and any possible resources that are displayed when the token is brought onto the map. Alright, so all of that is there. You can edit all this manually, as well as in the compendium that is a part of Foundry VTT. You can find items and racial features and spells. All those things can be dragged on pretty simply, and they become added onto the sheet. I don't do much manual editing of character sheets in Foundry VTT. That's because I use a module that is linked to D&D Beyond. I could do a video about that at a later time, but all of this is available if you want to do any manual editing. However, once you have the character set up though, you still need to link it to the player. So to do that, you just right click, configure permissions, set the default to be whatever you need it to be, possibly maybe observer if you want all of the players to be able to see the character sheet, or you can set it to limited. Play around with this, decide what is best for your campaign and your setting. I'm going to set right now to everyone, the default will be observer, but let's say this character is owned by the player named Tim, so I'll set it to owner there. That means that Tim will be the only one, if Tim is logged in, that can edit this character sheet, in addition to the Game Master, because the Game Master can edit all of the character sheets at any time. And that is all we're going to talk about today. Hopefully this has helped with the initial setup and getting started. If you want to bring a character in, you can just click and drag and they become part of the scene. And obviously you would want to change the image as mentioned earlier on. Okay, thanks everyone. Hope this has helped.